Okay. Well, that's fucking stupid. Okay. Okay. Uh, Give me a second, folks. Sorry, I'm kind of quiet right now. I'm dealing with a few things. I mean, like, it's not like I'm gonna fucking really, get a fucking massive amount of followers or a fuck ton of people coming in here. Like, I can't believe I fucking sent that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not even gonna do. I'm not gonna go on cam. Not right now. I might do cam in a little bit because I gotta draw. I gotta work on some drawings because I've been trying to draw. Fuck. Um, Mike, Russian Mike, as I call him on Skype. We've been chitting the chat, talking up a storm. He's been helping me out, thankfully, the best as he can. Like he can't save me in some sense, but yeah. Um, where to begin? Where to begin updating you guys? Because I started. Oh Christ! Let me see. I'm trying to think about the actual day. The last day that I did a stream. I think it was a. It wasn't last Wednesday. I know that. It was either the Wednesday before that. Okay, the 15th. So 10 days have gone by. Oh wow, I've only missed. Okay, so I've only missed 3 streams. Huh. Not that bad, I guess. So yeah, lots happened in 10 days. A lot has happened in 10 days, and a lot of bad. A lot of bad has happened last 10 days. A lot of near moments. So first and foremost, I'll explain why I haven't been doing the streams, and it's 2 reasons. There's a big main reason, and then there's a kind of cop out reason. So the cop out reason is my internet. I had internet. It's just I'm using a hotspot. I'm using Xfinity hotspot. It's a Wi-Fi connector. I've been paying. It's the first month I've started using it. I'll be paying next, well, technically this week, this upcoming Thursday, which is the 2nd, that's when my bill is. So I'll be paying that. And so with the way the hotspot is, the hotspot sometimes in this apartment will move. Right now I'm sitting comfortably at my desk with the laptop on the desk, and I'm able to talk and communicate with people and stream, go on YouTube, play video games online with friends. Just the normal everyday shit. But for some reason, it moved the night, that Wednesday night after I streamed, or it was the Thursday. And so I was resorting to just sitting on my bed. Wasn't the best connection, strongest. I could barely load up Skype calls. I'll be getting to that, Lundy. I'll be getting to that. Don't you worry. I'll be getting to it. But the main reason why I haven't been doing streams is because I've been really depressed. Like, severely depressed. And been trying to keep my mind focused. Like Lundy said, I've picked up League of Legends. Played a couple bot games this Friday. I played 2 bot games, one with Lundy and me, going bot lane. I've been playing Wukong nonstop because I used to play Wukong, and I'm getting back into the swing of things with Wukong. And the second bot game we played was, again, Lundy and me in Crowd, the Crowd demon. And so my internet kept fucking up. I kept getting DC'd and reconnecting. When the game won, I would have to leave the game, and there would be a warning going, you don't do that in League of Legends. We don't like it when people leave, even if the game's won. And so I didn't play for a while because I was like, I'll play League again when my internet's back at the desk and stable. And so today we did. I was going to do a stream today, but I got drunk last night, and I didn't go to bed till 7 in the morning. So 11th, I was going to push the time back from 11:30s, like I always do, to 12. So I'd have 4.5 hours sleep, but I slept until like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was like, fuck. So hopped onto Skype, talked to everybody, chit in the chat, and then it was me and Lundy playing in bot games. Nick hopped in a few times, played a few games with us, played a few games with Lundy while I was doing stuff like getting food. And then Lundy had me play in 2 normal games with actual players. First game, 0-7-0. I was completely raped in top lane by Garen, level 30. I'm level 5. He got a fuck ton of. He's maxed out his masteries, and he's got a fuck ton of runes. Just pushed my shit in, like literally. And Lundy can confirm this. I was like, so essentially, that's like telling me to walk up to a tank, an actual tank, and punch it to death. And then the second game went pretty good. Got a double kill. Got to troll, I guess would be the best term. I got to troll a Cho'Gath player with Wukong's W, and we were able to win that game. So I lost 1 match. I've played 9 games, 8 wins, one loss. Lundy helped carry me as jungler in the last game. The jungler in the game before that, where I was 0-7-0, didn't fucking do anything. Goddamn Warwick. But there's that. We've been hit with a little bad news for Tuesday and Thursday D&D games. Skull one of the main players of the Kingmaker game and my game. Well, actually, it's 3 games, not 2. My game, which is the Commoners game, CJ's game, which is the Kingmaker's game, and then Nick's game, which is on Thursdays. Skull's in, and Skull's been kind of worried about school and his grades, and so he's backed off from playing, so he has to drop out, which sucks because that drops our party for Thursdays from 5 to 4. So that's a big, and he's one of the other spellcasters in the group, so it kind of sucks. It drops our party in my game drastically because it's commoners and every commoner counts. So I think it's gone from 6 to 5 or 5 to 4. Let's see. 1D, CJ, Napalm, Nick, Skull. Yeah, it's dropped it from 5 to 4. And then the Kingmaker game, it is Sammy, Abby, Napalm, Skull, me, Nick. It's dropped it from 6 to 5. And he's kind of integral to the games with his character builds because everyone in D&D usually loads their character out to kind of synergize with the other players. He was playing a Forge Priest in the Kingmaker game. He was our crafter. He could craft anything: magical items, magical weapons, armor, weapons, what have you. He could craft it essentially, and he was pretty good because he could enlarge himself at will, and he could go invisible. He was immune to poisons because he was a droger. And then in my campaign, he was just a commoner, but he was kind of leaning towards becoming a paladin when he got class levels, and so kind of a big detrimental hit to the games. But we're going to try and continue through with that. Let's see. Been dealing with a lot of emotional baggage lately. Tuesday, this past Tuesday, give me a second. I really hate fucking type texting. So anyways, so Tuesday night, and I've been asked by a few people what happened Tuesday night because my Skype account hasn't, like my Skype account, which is tied to this YouTube account, is gone. So I've had a couple people asking me what happened to your YouTube account. So what happened is Tuesday night, minding my own business, I'm on a Skype call. I'm hanging out with friends, drinking, because it's Tuesday night. I like to unwind a little bit. And my Skype starts fucking up a little bit. And Skype usually will not respond for me a few times. It's usually when, like I'm playing Stellaris, or I'm playing, like when I'm playing a video game, usually. Or if I have a lot of tabs open, like a bunch of YouTube videos or like a Flash game in the browser, like my game will just start to lag, and then Skype will start lagging because Skype likes to be a fucking CPU hog and a physical memory hog. So I kind of think nothing of it. None. Like I'm just like, oh, it's whatever. This happens all the time. And and my Skype crashes, which has happened. It's happened a few times. Skype will just boot down, and then and then it'll either reboot itself or I have to actively reboot it. And so, so I'm minding my own business. It reboots, and it tells me to enter my password. And I wasn't really suspicious about that because it's like, sometimes that's happened to me. I've had to type in my password again. If I log out of Skype and close it down manually instead of then processing it, I have to log back in. So I'm like, oh, okay. I type in my password, and I get a prompt saying that seems like someone's using your account. Please go to this link to try and reclaim your account. And I'm like, oh, fucking Christ, no. Because I got a few messages that just kind of irked me, to say it mildly. Kind of pushed me a little bit into the mood that I'm in right now. And all my contacts gone. I had over 130 people on there. I know a lot of people that I've talked to as of late are like, there's no way you talk to 130 people on Skype. It's not just 130 people. A lot of those are Skype groups, and shit. Just people I talk to on the regular, fucking friends, some family members on Skype. But like the thing that was pissing me off the most and still pisses me off the most is the Skype chat logs. Because there's a lot of things that I've had for forever, literally. My Skype chat log history is set to forever. I have everything from the first day I've talked to people to the very last day, which was that day. And so I lost my account. So I had to use my sock account. An account I haven't used. I made it fucking 4 years ago. Must have been 4 years ago. And so I had to re-add people. There's people I can't re-add. Rise, my friend who passed away years ago, I can't have his account anymore. I can't see the chat logs. Every now and then I'll feel bad and I'll want to look back. Like, I want to look back and reminisce on like our discussions on Alien or Star Wars or just something like that. And I'd go back and I'd just reminisce the good old days. And I did that with a fair amount of people I talked to that I didn't talk to anymore. Just look back at the good times and just kind of look at it in a rose-tinted fashion. And like, it's just like, there's just stuff that I didn't want to lose that was in the chats. There were things that were said that I didn't want to forget. Like, there were things that I had said in certain chats. There were like ideas that were thrown around that I wanted to save, questions for the stream that I can't get back anymore. So I'm gonna have to try and track down those people to find those topics again and ask them. And it's probably not gonna even be the same thing that they asked me last time. And so I had to deal with that Tuesday. I've got a fair amount of people added, not a lot. I only have like 30 out of the 130 some odd people I have. So had to deal with that. Just haven't been feeling good. It's not that I'm sick or anything. It's just emotionally haven't been feeling good. I've got like, I've come to this point emotionally where like I sound like a broken record when I say I'm tired and done, but like it's gotten worse. Like before I felt done and life was just like, you think you're done with this? well, here's some more shit to add on to it. Now you can be done. Now you can feel even more done. Now you can wish that you were the way you felt beforehand. Like, oh, you're trying to build a ladder to climb out of this hole. Well, we're gonna pull like the last 4 or 5 pegs out of the fucking steps. And so I've been trying to focus on that the best I can. And like, it just sucks. Because, like I said, the comment earlier today on a Skype call that it's always darkest before the dawn. Like, it's going to get shittier before it gets better. And like, with the way things have been turning out and with the way things have been the last few months, I don't think it's going to get brighter. It's not going to get sunnier for me. Like, I feel like instead of like last year I was in the sun. I was in the shade after sunset on that, and now it's just midnight, and I feel like I'm going to be in a purgatory kind of limbo state for a good long time. Like, even once I start working again, even when I start fucking building my life back up and working and just keeping my nose to the fucking ground and doing everything that's right, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy. Last year, I would have been happy getting an apartment, fucking furnishing it, having a job, having money in the pocket, not being hungry, not dealing with like the problems I'm facing now. But now it's just going to be like, what's the point? Like, yeah, I achieved, like, I got it. I don't feel proud having it now. I don't feel good having it now. Even having a job still, like I'm on the clock. I'm on call right now, but like I haven't worked yet because this winter storm fucking quit hasn't hit us yet, and I don't even know if I'll be working when it hits because we don't know if it's going to hit us hard as Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan, like the Great Lakes area. So like, even having a job isn't making me feel happy. Like, I forced myself to draw because Mike told me like you need to focus on something. You need to take your mind off of things right now, Darth. And like, I've pushed and pushed and pushed and forced myself into drawing something to take my mind off of it. And like, yeah, like Mike and a few others in the group were like, "Hey, this is really good." I don't think it's good. I don't like it. I don't like. I could draw a Picasso painting for God's sakes, and I'd just be like, there's no point. I don't like it. It's ugly. It's awful. I don't want like. I just I need I just need to stop. Like, even forcing myself to do something is not gonna fucking fix it. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel hopeless when it comes to drawing right now. I haven't written anything. Give me a second. uh, like Tuesday night when all that horrible shit went down, like my Skype, the messages I received, just the fucking mood I was in, just the not caring mood. I just wanted to take all of my notebooks of lore that I've been working on, which is like in the 30s now. I just wanted to take that. I grabbed them all. I grabbed my maps. I grabbed my drawings for certain characters and certain cities and buildings and all of this shit. I took everything of my lore and I just threw it into a box, and I was like, I'm just gonna burn it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Like, I don't want to deal with this fucking monumental fucking task of working on this lore, because I've spent years working on it. I've spent years playing in it, playing with other people, having people in like add more history to it. And like I just grabbed it all and threw it into this box, and I was on the verge of burning it, and just this passion, this hateful passion to just destroy all this fucking work, all these years and memories, just this passion for it just drained out of me like an instant. 1 minute I was just filled with unbridled rage just at my lore and just everything, all this work that I had put into it, and all the work that I just invested, all the time, the blood, the sweat, and the tears, all of it. And I just as quickly as it came, it left. And I just closed up the box and I just threw it into the back of my closet as far as I fucking could. And I'm like, I'm not going to touch it for a while. Like, I can't. There's just too many memories behind it all. Like, a lot of friends that played in the first campaign that I want to turn into a book are dead. So their memory lives on in that game, in that lore. Like, a lot of friends that I've lost just through the years have played in that game, and I have notebooks filled with the side, like little side columns where the fucking the binder holes are, and just on those sides. And then you'll know what I talk about when you have a lined paper. You have two columns on either side, and then you have a header on the top. Those are all filled with notes. They're filled with little things like, oh, hey, make fun of Jack about this, because I wrote it while I was in class and Jack said something funny. Or talk to Mitch because Mitch is depressed. And Mitch passed away years ago to cancer, and he was depressed about it. I have little love notes that I had written to somebody I cared about, elvish poems, and just poems in general that I had written out. Just stuff like that is just littered in that. It's a walk down a painful memory lane. My grandfather is in the lore in a sense, not as a character, but as like the ideals that he imparted to me are imparted into a lot of the main characters that I've played as. A lot of famous actors that I admire are literally put into the lore. Basden Eagle-Eye, one of the elven lords of the tribunal, is literally just David Bowie. And David Bowie's dead now. And so, like, for the longest time, as a teenager, when I was writing my lore, I was like, if this ever becomes a movie, I'm like, and I can pick my actors, I'm going to literally ask David Bowie, I am one of your biggest fans. Can you please star in my movie? And it's like, he's dead now. So if that ever happened, it can't. Unless I do a CGI movie like fucking Warcraft. Like, just a lot of shit. Just a lot of shit that But like, I don't know. Like, the optimism in me is just draining. I'm just becoming more and more cynical. Like, I mean, I apologize to the people listening to this. Like, whoever's listening to this for fucking depressing your evening. I mean, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I might avoid things that happened because that raises alarms, or that might fucking freak people out. But I'm not. I'm just gonna be honest and say the truth. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just losing faith in myself, and, and there wasn't a lot to begin with. Let me tell you. Like, God, last year, for as many fucked up things happened last year, a lot of good stuff happened to me last year. And like, I'm still hoping that how I feel and how I think about things and certain people in my life, like I'm hoping that that's like my theories are true. I'm hoping, I'm hoping all the fucking time. Like, like I said before, like I always hope that I'm wrong. I always hope that I'm proven wrong on like my overthinking and like just shit in general like that. I'm always hoping to be proven wrong. Like, oh, this person probably just hates me. And then being proven wrong that no, they don't hate you. Like, it's actually quite the opposite. They don't hate you. They actually want to be your friend. Like, but now, like in just the last 2.5 months, like I'm hoping to God that I'm not wrong. That like what I've been thinking and what I've been told and what I've seen happen is right. That like I'm not looking into I'm not like I'm not looking into it like how to word it. I'm not looking like I don't want to be proven wrong because that would mean that I've lost a part of myself that I absolutely need, which is my perception. Like I'm fairly good at reading people just by their actions, and if I'm proven wrong on this, then that means I am horribly fucking blind. Like I am just blinding myself intentionally in the hopes that just in the hopes of that, and I don't want that to be true. Like 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 just for once I'd like things to go my way. I don't want to I like I don't want to be proven wrong. I don't want to feel worthless. I don't want to feel like I was used or just cast aside. And like oh God. Like I can't even believe it's only 11. It feels like it's fucking 1 o'clock at night. I'm just in a really shitty place right now, mentally. Like with my lore, like I had a muse. That was my first ex. Like she was there for me. She encouraged me. She filled me with this passion to write. Like I could wake up every day and write just consistently shit that happened in my lore, expanding on it, working on it, making it more fleshed out. And like I don't know. Let's see. Like fucking like like with my first ex, like shit was going great with my lore. Um, that was in 2008 to 2010. I had been playing in the campaign. I started playing in 2005, summer of 2005. So about 5 years, 5 years out of like the 10, 11 years of lore I had. And like got a lot of fleshed out history for the time period where the campaign was set. And so I played a few campaigns with some friends in real life for a few years, and then we kind of went our separate ways because of life. I was working, they were working. We were just getting older. We didn't have enough time to hang out like we did. We'd hang out, but we wouldn't hang out to sit down for like 4 to 6 hours, sometimes 8 hours to play D&D. And so I just looked back on them, and there was probably 25, 30 probably around 25 notebooks, like 108, like a five subject notebooks, college ruled, bunch of like 180 page college ruled fucking single subject notebooks filled front to back on either sheet from start to finish, just loaded with lore. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna work on a book. I'm just gonna work on a book. I'm gonna try and fucking streamline the lore, because there's probably gonna be inconsistencies. There's probably some things that clash with older sections of the books. And once that's all streamlined and I have a coherent narrative or a backdrop and have everything all detailed out, I'll do that. And I'll also work and improve the campaign setting, so that when people come into the campaign setting, they'll have everything at their fucking fingertips when it comes to knowledge. They'll know how many people live in a city, the demographics, the names of the districts, the name of the streets, the outlying settlements, how the city became a city, how old the city is, what the leaders are, the names of the fucking the highest ranking officials there, names of certain like iconic NPCs in the shops, guilds, academies, like names of rivers, streams, creeks, brooks, fords, forests, glades, hills, dells, mountains, coastlines, beaches, shores, swamps, marshes, moors, bogs, constellations, the seasons, the months, the days of the week, just everything fleshed out. It was mostly fleshed out, and it just needed to be fine-tuned. And then last year I found a new muse, and she was just enthralled that I had this fucking rich lore and I was working on it. And so that drove me even harder than I was like between like that 6 years. Because after my ex broke up with me, like I worked on it, but I didn't work on it as hard as I could have, like as hard as I did when I was with her. And so this new muse, like she just improved things for me. She like I was in the same mood as I was 6 years ago. I'd wake up and I'd just be writing and writing and writing. I have like 12 to 14 fucking like Word documents opened up with each different fucking section of the notebooks. I have notebooks all over my desk and all over the floor, opened up to different pages. I had fucking sticky notes tying to, different pages to which, because some pages weren't in those. They were in another book because I had just forgotten that book while I was at school, or I had left it at home, or I just totally misplaced it, and then I refound it, and then I started just writing, filling in those pages with new lore. And so I was going back and forth on that. I was like everything. I was translating all the languages. I had finally finished the Elvish language. I had finally finished the Dwarven language, the ancient languages of men. I had started working on a bastardized Elvish. Because why not? Because language kind of fucking changes from time to time. So it would be slang terms used by humans or halflings or dwarves. I had a secret language for the gnomes, a secret language for the halflings, because the halflings are like the Romani, or quote unquote gypsies, which is the racial slur form. I had languages for orcs and hobgoblins and the differences between their languages and how they're both common. They're both the same but different in a sense. I had languages. I was working up languages for dragons and fucking the creatures of the undercommon. I was actually working on detailing all the extra planar languages. I was working on fleshing out the story of creation and having that worked out, and I kept dropping it and fucking picking it back up and dropping it and so on and so forth, because it wasn't as perfect as I could envision it. And that's another big problem with me, is that I'm a horrid perfectionist. Absolutely horrible. I'm just horrible. I can't write a book with the mindset I have. I can't. It's infeasible at this point until I get over this perfectionist bullshit that I have going on with me. Because I could she and a few others that I would send snippets of like what I had written would be like, this is beautifully written. Like, this is really good. And in the back of my mind, I'm like I'd say thank you and like, oh, well, that's nice, and oh, thank you for this and thank you for that, and yeah, like this is how it's going to turn out, and this is how it's going to flow, and this is how the characters are going to mingle later on, and this is what they eventually turn into. And I could talk their ears off about the fucking lore that I have in my fucking skull and in my fucking books. But like, when it comes to like writing it down, when it comes to actually working on it, like I would just look at it and just be like, no, this isn't how it plays out, or this isn't how it's worded in my lore. In my head, this is not how it's supposed to sound. This isn't conveying the image I want. Like certain characters, like I just wish that there was a device. I wish there was a device that I could, like a fucking soup strainer or something, plug it onto my head, plug it into a USB jack, and just extract my thought and just think it. I can play whole movies on how my stories play out. I can just think, if I could, I just wish I could think it into existence instead of actually like thinking and trying to bring it up into existence. I had to revise my language, like the Elvish language, like 30 times in the matter of a year and a half, 2 years, because it it wasn't up to my level of snuff, and it's still not up to my level of like quality or my level of approval. It's just not. It won't. It never will be. And when it comes to fucking just everything, like like all like I'd say almost half that year last year, like I was getting over that perfectionist attitude. Like I could feasibly see myself getting over it. And then just as time went on, I just lost interest. I lost interest in wanting that. I lost interest in enjoying writing. Like there were times where I'd be frustrated, but I'd just smile because I'd be like, it'll get better soon. You'll finally get over this fucking first chapter of your lore, and you'll be able to just work on the second and just keep on doing it. Just keep on doing it until the second one comes up, and then the third, and the fourth, and the fifth, and until finally you've reached a point where you have a book and more. You have like an appendices or an appendix. You have like you have all of this fucking shit that you can do now. Like you have more than enough to work on. You have more than enough to publish. You just keep writing, keep at it. You'll do fine. Like I was getting to that point until like August, and just September came, and I tried doing it. And then fucking October came, and I kept trying at it. And then November came, and I started to stop trying. Every so often I would do something, and then December, I just halfway through, I just gave up on it. And then I tried making a New Year's resolution on New Year's Eve. I was like, I'm gonna try and get a chunk of this done before it's up. I'm gonna get a chunk of this done as best I can. I'm gonna try and get it done, and I haven't done a fucking thing. I haven't picked it up. I haven't looked at it. I haven't read it. Like the most I've done is just have somebody ask me, like, they just asked me like, what's your lore about? Like what have you been up to with your lore? Like what's it about? Like what are the characters about? And I can talk somebody's ear off. I can do quite a few streams just simply explaining the lore and talking about it. But like writing it down into a book so I can just publish it, like that's I just don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. And it sucks because I don't want that to happen, but it's reality. Like I can't just live in a fantasy world like wishing it not to happen. It's going to happen. Like that's just it. It's going to happen. Nothing I can do to stop it. And so I just got to take baby steps, like I have been doing. Just baby steps. One foot in front of the other. I'm a fucking gullible, optimistic idiot. Just baby steps will get me through. Like being a hopeless romantic hasn't got me to where I want to be. like if being a hopeless romantic that follows chivalry worked, like I'd probably still be with my first ex. I'd probably be with my second ex. Like if being a hopeless romantic, which is believing that what you feel will come, then that has to be the most lofty, insane ideas I have. Where I have the most fucked up view of the world. Like in just the last 2 weeks, I've come to this realization that I have the most fucked up just view of the world. Like just I feel like I've taken ideals that I've followed for my childhood and my teen years, and like they've been getting trampled on and stomped on and just beaten down, and they're not laws of the universe. Like opening a door for someone is a kind gesture. People don't like I thought when I was a kid, when you open up a door, people will thank you because you're doing them a favor. You're doing something nice for them, like helping somebody out when they need you, like, or just helping them out when they don't ask for help is a nice thing to do, and people will appreciate you for that. Like people will respect you for doing like the right thing. Like people will respect you for being honest and being open with how you feel and just being yourself. And like love like love is this concept that like once you love somebody, like you'll do everything, you'll move heaven and earth for that person. Like you can't have a stray thought, you can't do this and that, like, and just I'm looking back on it now, it's like these values that I've clung to like a rat on a sinking ship have not really helped me in the grand scheme of things. Like I'm respected by a few people. Yeah, I'm respected by a few people, but like all the people that I've touched in my life, like all the people I've known, like my family, my friends, their family, like strangers that I've met along the way, co-workers, just people, just the vast majority of people that I've encountered in my travels on this fucking earth and in the 26 years I've been alive. Not a lot of people that I still talk to this day hold respect for me. Like I don't know. Like for years I've just asked myself, what's the point in doing the right thing if the right thing doesn't make you happy? What's the point of doing the right thing when the right thing hurts you more than doing the wrong thing? Like just why is it that good people are trampled on and bad people just are able to just go on, keep on a trucking? They don't get their comeuppance until years after the fact. But if you're a nice person and you do the right thing and you fuck up once, it's held over your head and that's it. Like my uncle. Like I did everything by the books with my uncle. Like he owned my house. We were paying for it. We were doing everything by the books. We were courteous. We were like doing everything we could. And it was just nope. Like when my grandfather died, I did everything I could for the greater good. People that I never talked to in high school, like I was a nobody. And like what happened was in 2005, September 20th, um, week before, 2 weeks prior, because school here starts on the 3rd. My because I'm sure anybody who listens to this has been in has at least been in high school or school in general. The first week of school, you have to turn in a health form so that the school can insure you on their books. So if you get hurt on school grounds, they can insure you, and then the medical insurance, and so on and so forth. And so I filed out the form. I brought it to home, gave it to my grandfather and father. They both signed it. But like, I turn it in to homeroom class like we're supposed to, and like fucking paper. The paper's gone. You here's another paper. You have to fill out this form again. Fill it out. So I go home again 2 days later because that's when they told me. Went back home and handed the form back. And my grandfather was like, "We've already signed this form." And I was like, "Well, they told me that I didn't turn it in, but I did turn it in." And he's like, "Well, fine, we'll just sign it again." So my grandfather signed it, my father signed it, gave it back to me, and then the next day it's in high school, freshman year, I turned it in. And a couple days went by, and I was in class, and Costa, the vice principal at the time, he walked into the doorway like he usually did, and he called out my name. So I walked up, and he told me, "You didn't turn in your blue medical form." I was like, "Yes, I did. I turned it in today." He goes, "Not from the paperwork. We just filed all the the last come last served forms. Your name wasn't on there." I was like, "Well, I turned it in to my homeroom teacher, and she said that she'd get it to you ASAP after homeroom period ended and we'd go to our first class." He's like, "Well, it's not there. After school's over, get your ass in the cafeteria for detention." And I, up to that point, been a fairly model student. Like, I'd have B's, C's, and B's depending on like the class. I'd force myself to fail a class if I didn't want it, like gym, because of my asthma, French class because I didn't want French. I wanted Spanish in middle school, so I just didn't bring anything, and I just left my backpack outside the classroom because I just did not need it. I did not want French class. It wasn't like it wasn't going to like progress my career in school. And so like just I had detention. First detention I had ever had. I asked him if I could use the phone to call my grandfather because my father was out fishing at that point. He had left the day before, and he was like, "No, you can't. You can call him after, but you can't call him now." And so I sat there from 1:35 till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was there for 3.5 hours because I apparently fucked up. And I walked home, and I remember going down one of the longer routes home, and I remember trying to cross the street, and I almost got hit by a car. They were speeding, and started to rain because it's just my fucking luck. And I was wearing Chuck Taylors at the time, and they were soaking wet. Water was draining out of the holes and sides for like the ventilation holes, and I was like, they're just gonna fall apart now because Chuck Taylors do not do well in water. And I had just bought them for the start of school year. Fucking just bought them. They were a nice pair of Chuck Taylors, and I'm passing the church and I start hearing sirens. And I remember at that point realizing my grandfather doesn't know where I am. I hugged him goodbye, and I told him I'd see him after class. And I remember him telling me that he was gonna bake a cake. He's gonna bake a German chocolate cake with me. And so I remember walking down and just laughing, thinking, "Oh, because my grandfather was protective." I was like, he probably just he's called the cops on me. He's called the cops. His grandson's missing. He didn't come home from school. He's been gone for 3.5 hours. It's going on for 4.5 hours now, because it took me an hour just to get from the school to the church on the main road towards my house. And I'm just walking in the rain, cars driving by every so often, getting splashed with fucking puddles of water, because fucking people are dicks when it rains and they see somebody walking on the side of the road. And I remember just laughing, walking into my neighborhood at like half an hour after starting to hear the sirens faintly off in the distance. And I'm like, I can't wait to get home. I'm going to walk onto the lawn. CNN's going to be there, Channel 5 News, like local town boy gone missing. And they'll be having reporters talking like in the rain, and just the camera guy will pan to the left and he'll see me cutting through my neighbor's lawn, walking to my side door and just walking into the house. And like my grandfather will be interviewed by one of the news stations, and they'll just storm the house to ask me like, "Where have you been? Like, what's happened? Were you kidnapped?" And I remember getting up onto my street, and I remember seeing that my grandfather's car wasn't there. And I walked into the front door, and my brother was sitting at the kitchen table. And his face went pale, and he's like, "Where have you been?" And I was like, "I got stuck at school. I had detention." And he goes, "Well, how did you get detention?" And I told him. He's like, and I remember him telling me that because I asked him, where's Grandpa? And he said, he asked me if I wanted to go with him to go look for you, but I had homework. I have a quiz tomorrow on the stuff we've learned this week, so I had to stay home. And I just sat at the kitchen table expecting him to come home for about half an hour, and then half an hour went by and I started to worry. And I think, looking back on it now, I think the sirens, the sound, like me hearing them, kind of started picking up cues. And so I picked up the phone and I called my high school, and Lincoln, the principal at the time, he answered the phone, and he sounded exacerbated. And he's like, "Hello?" I was like, "Hello, Principal Lincoln. It's me. I just got back home. Did my grandfather go by there?" He's like, "Your grandfather's been in an accident. Don't worry, he's okay." And he just hung up. And I started panicking because I didn't know just how bad it was. And my aunt came about 2 hours later. It was like 7, 8 o'clock at night. And the car that almost hit me was being driven by an underage driver. He had no license, no permit. He was going 60, 75 when he struck my grandfather right out front of the school, and nearly practically killed my grandfather instantly. And I don't know. Like, I've tried to rationalize it. Like, oh, I was just exhausted from sitting in detention for 3.5 hours. Like, you just forgot to call. But it's like, I did try to call. I tried to call before I left, and the front lobby phone was off. Like, it was locked up. I couldn't call anybody. Nobody had a cell phone that I could use. And so I had no feasible way. Like I did the right thing, I think. Like I don't think it was the right thing. I've been told many a time it was the right thing to do. But like I don't know. Like I there was nothing I could have done. And yet for the next 3 painful weeks, because it was a kid that was in my school, I went from being a nobody to being the guy whose grandfather forced their friend to leave the school. And I was told day in and day out, like, your grandfather deserved it. My best friend shouldn't have been kicked out of this. Like, he didn't get kicked out of the school. He didn't leave. He didn't have to leave. His parents took him out of school because they were worried that my family was going to press charges. And like that was it. For 2 weeks, the remains of my grandfather's car were just strewn about on the side of the road, just pushed away with a brush or a broom. I had to drive by the accident. It was literally the intersection. Like there's a street that goes parallel, like broadside, or parallel to the parking lot of my high school, and then there's another road that goes right into the driveway that leads into the parking lot to the middle school and the high school. And the high school and my homeroom literally overlooks where he died. And I just had to sit there knowing for weeks, yep, that's where he died. And like I was blamed. There were teachers that blamed me because he was he was like a junior and he was on the football team or whatever. And so they knew him, they knew his family because my town's a close-knit community. And like just doing the right thing has never really worked in my favor. And like after my grandfather died, there was just not enough money coming into the house, and we were going to lose the house. And we were like, me and my brother were going hungry. I just turned 16 and my brother was 13 at the time. And so I just dropped out. So I could work because it was the right thing to do. And like, even to this day, like my family berates me for doing that. My family berates me because I don't have a high school diploma. I have a GED. Like my father's side of the family does the same thing. Like just friends. And it's like, I did the right thing. I did what was needed. Like I wasn't a teenager. Like after my grandfather died, I wasn't a 14-year-old kid anymore. I was a 24-year-old. I was an adult now. Like I had to step up. And like I lost a lot of me. Like I don't have fond memories of my my sweet 16 was me sitting at home alone with a birthday cake I made. My brother didn't want to spend my birthday with me. My father was fishing. Like it was just me. Like I didn't have the fucking the sleeping around and catching crabs and getting mono and going to parties after school or fucking bonfires or like having like that fucking like that notoriety or fame for getting your first car before your friends. I didn't have those moments. I didn't have that. My friends would be coming home from high school and they'd see me working on my car and they'd ask me like, so what have you been up to? I'm like, I'm holding down a job right now, and like we're behind rent right now because work's not working out right now. Like we're barely meeting ends meet. Like we're 2 months behind on the rent. Like and they're sitting there telling me that they have a fucking math quiz. And like, just over these years, just I'm just I'm like I'm just growing more and more hateful and resentful of my actions. Like I've done everything I can by the books all the time. Like I don't have a job, I try to get a job, and then I don't get the job. So I try again and again and again. For years now, I've been trying to get jobs. I had a temporary job in 2015 that was helping me out. Like 2016, I was unemployed until July, and I worked as long as I could. I have that job still, thankfully, so I'm going to be working to get that. It's like I'm going to try my damnedest, but at the same time, it's just not going to make me feel better about myself. I'm not going to enjoy it because what's the upside to it right now? You know, like what's the upside to it all? I'm not going to be able to, like, the people that still hate me are still going to hate me. The people that still look down on me are still going to look down on me. The people who respect me are still going to respect me. But that's it. Like, nothing's going to change. The only thing that's going to change is the title that I have, which is I'm working. That's it. Like, nothing else. Nothing else. Like, I'm gonna have an apartment, but that just means like I'm gonna be stressed out. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do streams 11 o'clock, like 11:30 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not gonna be able to do it because I'm gonna have to focus on working. I'm not gonna be able to work a normal 40-hour work week like I was doing for a while last year. I'm gonna have to do possibly 60 hours. I'm probably gonna have to do Saturdays and Sundays. I'm gonna have to probably do like odd jobs and help other people so they can throw me money just to make ends meet. And like, that's not something I want to, that's not something I want to do. It's not something I'm looking forward to, but it's the right thing to do. And even then, I don't feel like it's gonna fucking amount to anything at some point. Like, at some point, I'm just gonna hit a fucking wall, and something will throw a fucking wrench into the goddamn works, and I'm gonna be fucked again. It happens all the time. It happens every time I try and do something. Like, last year, it was fucking sky's the limit, and just fucking bam, a wall, and then bam, another wall. Like, in just the last 5 months, I've probably hit 7 or 8 walls full force, not even slowing down, not even a chance to fucking cut the wheel to try and avoid it. No, these are Donald Trump Mexico kind of walls where I'm smack dab in the middle, right in the middle of fucking, like, going right down Texas, like probably the ass end of Texas bordering New Mexico. Like, there is no way I can dodge it at all. No way. And I'm gonna have to go through it because I can't avoid that wall. I can't avoid some of these things. Like, I don't know. Like, I hate saying I don't know, but it's like, that's the only thing I can say. Don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know where things are gonna go down the line. Like, for every good thing that's happened to me, there's 2 or 3 bad memories behind it. Like, like all the like my grandfather. Like there are so many good memories, of him. But that one event has just muddied it irrevocably, like or irreversibly. There's no way I can look at those memories and be happy. There's just no way, because even to this day I wish he was here. To this day I wish he was here to give me guidance. He was my Ben Kenobi to my Skywalker. Like whenever I fell down mentally or emotionally or physically, he was there to help me back up. And once he was gone, there was nobody that could do that. Nobody wanted to help me. My father couldn't. He was working himself to death. My brother couldn't. He was too young to deal with like depression and shit like that. And like, I don't know. Like, there's been times in the last few years where I wish he was there to enjoy my happiness. Like my cousin Sean poignantly said it this past December, that he hadn't seen me happy since my grandfather died. He can't remember the last time I was happy. And he doesn't know what's happened the last 5 months. He doesn't know everything that's happened. And like, he's honest. He's an honest kid. He wears his feelings on his shoulder or on his sleeve. He says what comes to his mind, and he doesn't give a fuck because he's autistic. So he doesn't have the same social normities that a lot of people have. And it just hurts. It just hurts knowing that like this naive but brutally honest child that unconditionally loves me has been in pain because of me. Like he is so adamant that like I'm gonna move in. I'm gonna move in with somebody, and he's gonna be able to come over and thank him for making me happy, and he's gonna be able to talk the ear off about how happy I am, and how he's never seen me this devoted and this loyal to somebody in a long time. He's gonna want to just gonna spend more time with me so he can just be happy for me being happy. And it's like, a part of me is like, you shouldn't think that way. You shouldn't get your hopes up like that, Sean. You shouldn't. Like, even now, he doesn't know like all of what's happened to me. He doesn't know a lot of the struggle I've gone through. He doesn't know a lot of like my depression and my problems, the drinking. Like he just tells me, he just shakes his head. He puts his hands on his hips and shakes his head and looks down at his feet whenever he sees me light a cigarette. And he told me that I have to live. I gotta stop smoking because he wants me to be there when he gets a Nobel Prize. He wants me to live a long, fruitful life so I can be a famous author, and he wants me to live so people aren't sad. And like, it seems like he just doesn't grasp that there's mortality to life. Like, there is a beginning and there's an end. And he thinks that the only way you die is if someone kills you. And so he thinks that I'm slowly killing myself, which technically is true. Cigarettes ain't times like cigarettes and liquor and soda and junk food and just all that shit. Like shit like that. Like, yeah, technically, yeah, I am cutting myself. I have got one foot in the grave with that. Plus, the line of work I've done has probably knocked off a lot of time on me. But like, I've just grown in like the last 6 years to go from like, because I've like, it's just smoking. Smoking, like, I started smoking after my grandfather died. I was 14 when I started smoking, and a pack lasted me a year. Now a pack lasts me like half a day, sometimes, depending on how bad it is. Like, I've quit smoking quite a few times. I quit smoking a fair amount. Like, I cut back a lot to like a quarter pack, like a pack a month. Sometimes a pack every 2 months. And just after 2010, around 2010, 2011, I just got this mind, like, I just have this mindset now where it's like, I'm just going to do what I want, that it makes me feel enjoyment on some level. Not happy. I'm not going to do something that just makes me happy for the sake of being happy. I'm going to do it because it's beneficial to me in some sense. Smoking, it relieves stress for me. Smoking relieves stress for me. When I'm hungry and I don't have a lot of food in the house, or when I'm hungry and I don't want to eat or cook something, I'll smoke a cigarette, and that will relieve the stress and it'll curb my hunger. And like, yeah, my lungs have been chewed up because of asthma. Like, my lungs were underdeveloped ever since I was born, but I'm used to it. Like, I can still run, I can still jog fairly decently. Like, I'm a good burst sprinter still. Like, I can still work out reasonably well. Like, I drink. Like, I know drinking, like, people will probably label me as an alcoholic now with the level of liquor I've poisoned myself with many a time in the last 2.5 months. But I drink to be happy. I drink to feel better. When I drink, a lot of the weights on, like, the weight on my shoulders lift, and I'm able to just, like, I live by the saying that an old family friend of ours said is, being drunk doesn't change who you are; it reveals who you are. Like, when I drink, I'm not a depressive drunk, and I'm not an angry drunk. I'm a happy drunk. And that's because when I drink, I'm like, my mind isn't static. I'm not dwelling on the past. I'm not dealing with these quandaries of doing the right thing and what I should say and do at that moment. I just do what I want. I just I just emotionally and mentally and physically do what I want. If I want to smoke a cigarette, I'm smoking a fucking cigarette. If I'm gonna fucking make a goddamn, like, triple decker cake, you're goddamn right I'm gonna make a triple decker cake. Like, if I'm gonna, like, start singing Journey songs, like, I'm gonna sing Journey songs. If I'm gonna sing Lord of the Rings music, I'm gonna sing Lord of the Rings music. If I'm gonna speak Elvish, I'll speak Elvish. I'm just gonna do it because I have no worries. But the crux to it is that there are things that I cannot have spoken to me because they'll trigger me. And I use that term loosely because I hate the term when it's not being used in the actual fucking sense of the word. They're just buttons. I have buttons in my head with key phrases or names. Like, my grandfather cannot be mentioned. If I'm drunk and you mention my grandfather, I'm just going to go from I could be 8 hours drunk. I could have swept the floor with my standing ovation for singing fucking "Don't Stop Believing" at a karaoke club. I could be the happiest, most jovial person on the planet. But if you bring up my grandfather's death, or just bring up my grandfather, I will go from 0 to 60 and start crying my eyes out. I will just, all that weight will just come back onto me. And like the mindset that I have right now will just come out in full force because there's no restraint, there's no filter. Like things like that, like my exes, bringing up my exes will make me feel like shit. Like bringing up my fucking, my just a lot of like just bringing up the shitty memories and the shitty moments in my life and the people I've lost and the people I care about. Like it just fucks with me when I'm drunk. And then I'll keep drinking because I'll try and like, because I like when I'm drunk, I think that drinking more will reset me. I'm drunk, but maybe if I get drunker or more drunk, I'll go back to feeling happy. And these fucking shackles and weights and this goddamn planet on my shoulders will just lift up again. The shackles will be broken. The weights will will fall off of it, and the planet will just float off. And I can just go back to being happy. And I'll just drink and drink and drink until I pass out or I fucking poison myself. And I'm not drunk right now. I will state that just in case, because I'm sure somebody might be worried that I'm drinking, but I'm not. But it's like, just that kind of shit sets me off. Like, just there's a lot of shit, and there's a lot of reasons why I don't drink in front of people, because it would ruin their mood. Just my body act, just the fucking my just my mannerisms, the way I carry myself, that's gonna be gone. That'll be that they'll notice. Hey, he's not standing upright anymore. He's slunched over, like he's got a fucking planet. He's carrying a planet. Like my one of my nicknames now is Atlas. The last 2 years, my family has been calling me that because I walk around as if I'm carrying a world on my shoulders, and it's true. I am. I'm like my brother's in prison. Like I don't like my confidant, the man who's for as much of a fuck up as my brother is, I can tell you for 100% when I have needed him the last few years, he has been there to talk to me and talk me down or talk me through how I feel. And like he's 1,500 miles away in a Missouri prison, and he's going to be there for 6 years. I can't talk to my father about this shit. Like he'll call me a damn fool, or he'll tell me that like it's not as bad as not as bad as I think it is, and oh well, this person's a cunt, or oh this person's an asshole, or oh you just fucking cut that person out of your life, they're toxic. And it's like I just can't, and he knows I can't. He's lived in my life for 26 years now. Like 12 of those, going on 12 years now, he's seen me horribly depressed. And he's still in this mindset that like it'll just pass. Like this is like I just feel blue. Like I just feel a little blue. I'm a little sad, and I'll feel like my old self again. And I don't feel like my old self again. even when he thinks I'm my old self again, like it's because I have to put up a front. I have to smile. I have to laugh and joke and ramble on about comic book movies and what movies I've seen. Like, but in the back of my head, I'm like, tell him that you feel absolutely like shit. Tell him that it took you an hour to get out of bed today because you just could not physically will yourself to. Like, just tell him that you just need to talk to him about this. And then in the back, but then like in the back of my head, I'm also thinking, like, he's just gonna say you're like you were just tired in that hour, and that's why you didn't get out of bed, or oh, it's a lazy day, you're not working today, so why, like, you didn't have to rush out of bed. Like, oh well, like we'll just talk about the weather. That'll make that won't make you feel better, but it'll make him feel better because he thinks that he's talked to you about this. And like the last 5 months, I've tried to explain to him what's been going on. And just what he's been saying to me just upsets me and disgusts me on some level. Like, I'm talking to somebody that I haven't talked to in over a year. She tried talking to me in May, and like it's opened up the old wound, as I call it. To quote Lancelot from Excalibur, it's opened up the old wound. Like, I'm a bleeding heart romantic, hopeless romantic. Like, I'll stitch myself up, but that stitch ain't gonna last that long because sure enough, I'll fucking rip that stitching out. Like, last must have been last Friday. Had to have been last Friday. Yeah, no, not this Friday. This past Friday, the 24th, the 17th. It was either the 17th or it was the 16th. It was Thursday or Friday. I randomly messaged her because I needed some normalcy in my life. Like, I needed some normalcy. I need to go back in time. I wanted to skip over 2016 and go back to 2015. Because in 2015 we were talking and she was telling me that she wanted to be with me. And so I wanted to go back into that mindset to where like I had a shot. Like I had a shot at doing something with her and being with her and being happy. So I started talking to her, and she confided into me that she was trying to talk to me in May, and like she was seeing somebody, and she saw me with somebody, and she backed off because she didn't want to upset the person I was with, because she, there like just there's the old wound, and when it comes to love with me, I'm a fucking mess because once I love somebody, I don't stop loving them. Like, I met her when I was 15. She was 13. I was 15. And like I had a crush on her. Like the first day, like she had a crush on me. I had a crush on her the first day we met outside of a friend's house at a party that my brother dragged me to because I was sitting at home playing video games all the time. And like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, since probably me being probably 17 and a half, I've been in love with her, and I'm always going to love her. Like, there's no way to stop it. And I know there's people that have said like, oh well, love fades, love will pass. Like, you'll still remember them fondly, but you'll find somebody better down the line, and you'll love them as you loved your old love, and you'll find new meaning. And I can't believe that when it comes to me, because I love her now. Like now I love her as much, if not more, than when I first fell in love with her. Like she asked me why I still talk. Like I messaged her. She asked me why I'm still talking to her after all the painful shit that happened between us, all the bullshit, the drama, the petty mind games, the lying, the betrayal, the heartache, like all of that. And I told her, like, I love you. Like I still love you to this day. I'm always going to love you, and it sucks. I know it sucks. Like it sucks for you. It sucks for me. Like I wish I was like other people where I could just fall in love with someone for fucking a set amount of time and then just drop them and find another person to love, and then drop them and then find another person to love, and then when the feeling dies, move on. But that's not me. Like there's only been a small amount of people that I've been able to just open up to personally on an emotional level, and like that is incredibly risky for me, because I'm incredibly vulnerable when in that intimate sense. I am incredibly vulnerable, and I fear the fucking pain that I'll get when somebody is ripped from me. And so she knows me better than my family on some level, like both of them. like like last year, like I questioned asking somebody out last year because I was worried that if my ex came back into my life and she started talking to me again, like I didn't know if she came, like if she, like I had feelings for somebody. My recent ex I had feelings for, but like at the same time, before I even popped the question, I contemplated, like, if my first ex comes up to me and tells me that she wants to be with me forever, and it's a 100% guarantee that she will literally be with me forever, and like that's it, I I would probably have to sit at a bar and get drunk contemplating it for days. I'd just be racked with guilt, with indecisiveness, with anger, with frustration, with joy, because I would have to choose between two people I had the same feelings for. One of them would be hurt. Do I take her and leave the other behind and hurt and break her heart, or do I what do I do? Like there's no right or wrong on some level, like. And so like I finally was just like, to hell with it, like damn it to the four winds. And so I went for it, and sure enough, fucking fucking 2 months later, fucking the ex tried to fucking reach out to me. And like I thought that things were going to be better this time around. Like I warned the person I was dating, like how personal like me dating somebody is. I warned them how painful it was going to be if things ended on a bad note. Like I warned this person that like I'm never going to stop having these feelings for them, and they were fine with it. They didn't care because they didn't think it was going to happen. They didn't think that things would end the way they ended. People like people around us thought it wasn't going to end as like crash and burn, and I want both of them. Like I'm talking to the first ex. I'm trying to mend things with that on the hopes that maybe we can work something out and be together again. But at the same time, I'm holding out hope that maybe things will work out with the recent one, and maybe something will come of that. And I've been told multiple times that it'll never happen or it won't happen. But like from the years of seeing people in relationships and seeing things work out for people and seeing things like that, like I don't know. I don't know. It's the actions, the wording, the tone of voice used. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I can't know, but I'm hoping that I'm right about it. Like like I'm just a mess. Like I keep trying to stitch up that wound and like the old wound, and I just keep ripping the stitching out when new information comes and or a new thought strays my path, or like my mood improves, or my mood fucking doesn't improve and goes worse. Because like there'll be times where I'm like, oh well, it's done. It's done. It's crashed. It's burned. It's gone. Like nothing will ever be the same again. And then the hopeless idiot optimist in me will be like, well, actually no, because maybe this is how it's happening. Like you never know. You never know, Darth. Like you can't just sit there and say that something like that without like you can't be that ignorant. You can't go through life being ignorant about shit like this because who knows? Who knows? Maybe your thinking, your thought process is spot on. It's been spot on a fair amount when it comes to things like relationships and like interacting with people and reading people. Like you're good at reading people. You really are. Like you know when someone's lying in person because of the way that like their head tilts or the way their eyes shift or the sound and tone of their voice, their body language. Like you can feel that. Like you're empathetic on that level. Like you're not a psychic, but you're damn well close to one. And yeah, you've proven wrong a few times, but it's the good kind of wrong, where you saw the negativity in man and you were proven wrong that there's still some good left in this world. And your faith in humanity was restored by that wrongness. But there's also times where, and then I'll be like, but there's been times where I've been proven right and it was the wrong, like it was the bad kind of shit. Like it made me lose faith in humanity. And it's like the little optimistic angel on my shoulder is just like, well, I have a feeling that this is a good kind. Like this is a good faith in humanity restored kind of moment. So like, I don't know. Like I want it to end like a fucking like a storybook ending. Like I do. I really do. I am a like I said, I am a horrible, hopeless romantic. Like I am the worst person for relationship advice, but at the same time, I am incredibly well for relationship advice. Like, like I've helped out friends on Skype, like have their faith in in their confidence restored with people. I've had real friends marry friends because I help them with their problems relationship wise. A friend of mine has a kid now and a loving wife, and the skies have just cleared up for him because he came to me for advice, relationship advice, no less. And I was able to just like a fucking computer. Just he fed me the data, and I gave him my results, and those results were right. And like, I just want that to happen to me. I want to be able to be like, I fed myself data that I encountered. I was fed data that I've been given, and these are the results, and have those results proven. Because like there's been only a few times where I've been proven right, and it was a good thing, and it was for a good thing. I've mostly been right about a lot of bad things, like people lying to me, people cheating on me, people just casting me aside. Like I've had worries and doubts about friends and family, and those doubts have just been fucking paranoid delusions because I'm horribly self-conscious and have an incredibly low self-esteem. Like like I'd probably win in a competition with all the people I know. I'd probably win out on who has the lowest self-esteem. Like there is nothing on my body that I absolutely 100% approve of except for my eyes. That's it. Like I like my eyes, and that's it. That's the only thing I like. Everything else I fucking just despise and think everyone is wrong, absolutely wrong about me. Like I self-sabotage myself when dealing with people because I just was like, nah, they're just this is a ruse. This is a hoodwink. This is a hoodwink. They're not interested in me for me. They're not interested in my knowledge. Like they're not interested in like your knowledge of something like politics or your opinions on things. Like yeah, you work out like you've worked out, you've toned your body to like you've pushed your body to its limits, but like that's not good enough. Like you're not benching fucking you're not deadlifting 300 pounds. You're not Hugh Jackman. Like you're toned, but like you have a wiry, lanky frame, asshole. Like no chick is going to fucking like that kind of like chicken chested, like pale, pasty white dude fucking body you got. Like you can do your job good. That's it. Like you can fish, you can work, you can split wood, sure. But guess what? You enjoy splitting wood? You do? That's a hick thing to do. That's what hicks do. Like half your family are hicks, and they split wood for a living. Like you're a fisherman. Oh, you're a big time fisherman. Well, guess what? The entirety of the fleet is just dominated by junkies. If you mention that you're a fisherman, they're probably going to assume you're a junkie. Like oh, you got your pair of nice pants on, and you got a nice fucking white button up that you love, and like it's all nice. Well, there's a cigarette burn hole when you fell asleep one night while you were smoking a cigarette. Like that's a ratty ass shirt. Like your jeans are kind of faded near your knees because of like wearing them for years, working with them. Like you're gonna fall apart soon. You're gonna look like a bum. Like look at you. You're wearing combat boots, for God's sakes. It's the middle of fucking June. Like, fucking wear some sneakers. Oh, you're wearing Chuck Taylors. Fucking old people wear Chuck Taylors. Fucking nobody wears Chuck Taylors around here now. You're a fucking idiot for doing shit like that. Look at you. You got a fucking scraggly beard right now. Yeah, it's the middle of fucking winter. It's keeping your goddamn fucking baby face warm, but no one's gonna fucking like looking at that. Oh, you trimmed it. Most people don't like beards, asshole. There you go. Look how long your fucking hair is. It's down to your shoulders. What are you trying to be, a fucking girl? You've been mistaken for a chick sometimes by people because of how scrawny your ass is. Get a goddamn haircut, hippie. Oh, look at that. So you just buzzed your hair off because you just were like, fuck it, I can't think of a good haircut. Now you look like a skinhead. That's attractive. That's real attractive. Look at you. Your body's falling apart. You wake up in the morning and you hold your hip and go, God, my hip hurts. That's what a 60-year-old says. You really think a chick's going to be into a guy that sounds like a 60-year-old? Like your back's all fucked up. Your joints feel like they have sand poured in them sometimes. Your shoulder pops out three, 4 times a fucking day. Your joint, like you got fucking bad wrists. Your fingers are fucked up. Your feet are fucked up. Your whole body's fucked up. Like, just sign yourself off as being alone. And I did for a while. For a long fucking while, I just was like, I've dated one chick in my life, and that's it. Like, I've seen the high life. I've gotten to that point. Oh well. Nothing else I can do. I'm just going to be alone now. Like going back on the respect thing, like even the people that respect me, I feel don't deserve to respect me because I haven't really done a lot to earn that respect or that trust. Because like the most I've done in the last 6 years I've been online is ramble on about nerdy shit and listen to people's problems and try and help them. Like I haven't, like I don't see that as a big thing. To me, like it's kind of oxymoronic, I guess, or it's kind of two sides of the same coin. On the one hand, I don't see it as a big thing, like talking to somebody about their problems. Like talking somebody down, I feel like is a humanitarian requirement. Like all people should be able to talk people down. Everybody should be able to help other people out. Like, like another like a value my grandfather imparted to me is treat others the way you want to be treated. And it's like that doesn't happen in real life. Like help thy fellow man. My grandfather would tell me that all the time. Like you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. When somebody's down on their luck, you help that person up. If somebody if some rando comes to the house and asks you for $20, give them that $20 because they need that $20 because they need help. Help them out. Like, sure, there's some stipulations that he gave me. He didn't just tell me like, yeah, if a junkie comes to your door and is like, hey, sir, can you give me $20 so I can get high? He's not telling me to just hand the guy $20 so he can get high. But like, just when people need help, help them. And like, I feel like that's a common sense thing. People should help other people. Like, we're all in this together. Everybody on this planet. Like, there's been some things that I've seen, like we've seen historically happen, like World War II, the fucking opposite, like just in recent news, Like the opposition against Trump is getting stronger and more vocal, and it's spreading worldwide, not just in the United States, but worldwide. Like people are coming together to help other people. People are helping like refugees and immigrants, people who need medical treatments, people who need fucking like just basic necessities. We see people going to Africa and giving them clean water and giving them clean food. Like, but that's only a minor amount of people. Like everybody should try and help out. There's homeless people. Like there's homeless people everywhere in here, like in the States. They're dying in the cold. They don't need to die in the cold. Like every time I see a homeless person, even if I have $5 to my name, I give them some of it. I'll go to the store, buy a soda or something so I have change, and then give them some like $1 or $2 or $3 at times. Like when I was working in 2015, I remember I was making a fuck ton of money. I was working 70, 80 hours a week, sometimes 90 hours a week. I was literally killing myself for this job. And I remember a homeless guy would sit out in the parking lot of my workplace, and he'd sit out front of the laundromat because there was a little plaza area. And I remember being on my break. I had 2 hours of break. No, sorry, an hour and a half. 2 15s. No, sorry, an hour. 2 15s and a half hour. And I remember just not taking my 2 15s and a half hour because I had an idea in mind. And I walked up to him. It must have been like 3 o'clock in the morning because I was late. I was doing night shifts. And I just remember walking up to him and I was like, hey. He goes, oh, what's up, man? I was like, not much. How are you doing? He's like, oh, kind of hungry, but nothing you need to worry about, man. I'm fine. I was like, no. Like, you want to get some McDonald's? Or do you want to get Subway? He's like, excuse me? I was like, do you want to go to McDonald's or do you want to go to Subway? He's like, oh, well, Subway's closer, man. Like, what, you get laid off? Is that it? I was like, no, I'm on my lunch break. I got an hour. Like, we're fucking shit's winding down. They're cleaning up the warehouse floor right now, so they don't need me. So they saw that I had my 2 15 and a half hour, my lunch break, so they just lumped it into 1 hour lunch break. He's like, all right, man. Sure, if you're okay with it. And so I walked with him probably 2 blocks away. We went to the Subway. And I told him, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. You want $30 worth of food, you'll get $30 worth of food as long as you're full. And so he got 2 subs. I got 2 subs because I was hungry. He got a drink, and he got a refill, and he got some plenty of chips, plenty of snacks to have while we just sat there and ate and talked. And yeah, he told me what had happened. He was an addict, a former addict. He lived in an apartment building with his then girlfriend and her 2 kids, and he had hit some hard times emotionally, and he couldn't deal with the stress, and so he was trying to work through that as best as he could, but he couldn't, and just it got to him, and he just collapsed in on doing heroin. And once she found out, she got pissed, and she kicked him to the curb, and that was it. He was fucking just alone in the apartment by himself. It was only him, and he just started to get more depressed and doing more heroin, and finally he just started giving up on working, and he collected unemployment, and that was holding up his lifestyle for a while. He was always behind on rent, and he just couldn't fucking cope with it. And so finally he was evicted, and he had been homeless for about 4.5, 5 months, and he had started to get clean 2 months, 3 months before I started talking to him. And so he was trying his best and he was trying to find a job. So I told him where I had gotten my unemployment, where I had gotten my employment for the job I was working at, which was a community center. And I just remember fucking just talking to him. And then once we were done eating and we were all set, I gave him fucking $50. And I was like, here, this will give you, like, if you're hungry and you need to talk to somebody, like on the phone, like at a payphone or something, you'll have money in your pocket so you can call them. Like, if you need a shower or something, you can go to the Y. It's not too far from where like you're staying right now, so you can do that. Like, if like, because I was still working there, it's like if you get a call or something, or like there's a way to reach you, like you can do that. If you need a phone, I have an Obama phone. I don't use it anymore because I've got a job now. But like you if you need it, just come up to me and be like, hey, I need a phone number, and I can fucking give it to you, and you can use that to communicate with people. And so he started working or trying his best, and every few, I'd say every 2 weeks for about 4 months, I'd just go out to eat with him, just help him out. He'd tell me how he was doing, and like the last I heard of him, he had gotten a job interview for a construction company, uh, because if I remember correctly, he had a license to drive a forklift and worked on machinery, and I haven't seen him over there anymore, like for almost 2 years now. And so, like, I feel like, in a sense, I helped him get on his feet again. Like, he would refuse money half the time I tried to give it to him, and I told him, like, it's not a charity case. I'm not doing this to make myself feel better. Like, I'm doing this because I've been in your situation. Like, I know how it is to live on these streets. I know how hard it is sometimes that people just, for whatever reason, will just walk by you without a second glance. They won't even give you a penny out of their fucking pockets. Like, I know how massive, like, just $10 is, $5. I know, like, I can stretch $20 for groceries for a week, where a lot of people can't. A lot of people can't even stretch $20 out for a week. And like, I don't know. Like, been some people in my life that have used like my struggles and like those plights I've had against me, and some of them have not meant it later on, but there's some people still that have used it. Like, they like I said, way back when, like, if you're a good guy and you, or a nice person, and you fuck up one time, and it doesn't have to be your fault, like, that one fuck up is going to be a stain on your reputation and how people perceive you. Like, like there's some friends who will just say that I'm a useless prick. There's some people that I know that'll they'll look me square in the face and tell me you should be dead, because I'm not making as much money as they do. I don't have an apartment like they do. I don't own a car right now. I don't drive. Like, it's shit like that that just makes no fucking sense to me, and it makes me hate humanity, because I should be able to have the respect I deserve from all walks of life. Like, I treat everyone as courteous as possible in the hopes that those people give me the same common decency. Like, would be a good example. Oh, when I'm in a relationship, or a friendship, I'm the same goddamn person. Like, I'm the same person I've been since the fucking very beginning. Like, I'm incredibly loyal to people. Like, I don't like having rivals. I don't like having enemies. I don't like having bad blood. I don't. I just can't stand it. It pisses me off. And I just don't know. Like, for some reason, some people will just turn a blind eye. They'll turn a fucking blind eye to things and they'll just hand wave it. Like, they don't realize or value my respect and loyalty as much as I respect their loyalty and their respect to me. I'm not saying it's everybody, but it's just a select few. Like, I'm incredibly blunt and honest when I need to be. There's times where I won't say the truth. I'll give a half truth. I won't divulge the whole information, but I'll say it. But like, if it's somebody I've been friends with for years, or somebody I've been in love with for years, or just somebody I trust and respect, I'm not going to give them those half truths. And like, when I go above and beyond to people, I'm not going above and beyond. Like, people apparently think they owe me something for how I treat them. And it's like, you don't owe me a fucking damn thing. Like, well, actually, you do owe me you do owe me something with the way I treat, like, with how I treat you. And that's just the truth. Like, that's it. The truth. That's all I want out of a friendship or a relationship, is just the truth. Just be honest. Just be upfront and honest with me. Like, I'm upfront and honest with you. The least you can do is do the same for me. Like, give me, and it also maybe respect, because you got to get, like, you'd have to respect me to actually be like, yeah, I'm going to give him the truth. Like, if you don't tell me the honest truth, like, then that means you just don't respect me enough to actually do that. And like, that's the only thing I want out of a friendship and relationship, and I expect people to feel the same way when they're dealing with me. Like, I want Darth to be honest with me. Like, Darth, can be honest with me. Do you think this? Like, they're expecting me to be honest. And it baffles me that people feel like I'm being too selfless, in a sense. Like, I've been told just in the past 2 months by like 20 fucking people that I need to be more selfish. I need to do more shit. I need to focus more on me than the other people. And it's like, why? I'm doing fine. Like I've had friends and family tell me like, oh well, you can't just get happiness out of like somebody else. You can't rely on people to make you happy. You need to find a way to make yourself happy. And I don't feel like that's the case the whole time. There are some people in this world that will just make you happy. And they'll make you happier than you were when you were without them. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, you try as hard as you can to be there for people. You're always there for them. They're always there for you. And it's not good enough. Like, last year, I didn't do much relationship wise. I didn't do much. What did I do? I went to Minnesota so I can be with that person in person. It doesn't seem like it's a big doesn't seem like a big fucking deal. I wanted to be with somebody. I'm gonna be with somebody. Like, nothing wrong with that. Nothing big about that. Just that's it. I'm gonna be with that person. I'm gonna go. I want to go, not they want me to go or they're demanding me to go. I want to go. I wanted a relationship. I wanted this. Like I want it's like there's a certain point to selfishness where like I just don't understand it. Like how am I not as selfish as other people? Why do I need to be as selfish as you or somebody you know? Or like how is being selfish make you a happy person? I don't know how that makes you a happy person at all. Like like sitting there day in and day just just thinking about just thinking about yourself first instead of like the person you're there for. It just seems unreal to me. Like and I've seen that side. I've seen that side now twice. Twice I've seen it. Where I've put in my dues and I've not received as much respect and as much trust or honesty as I should have received. Like I've been told that I'm their soulmate. I've been told I'm their everything, that they madly love me, that they want to be with me forever. Like they're the happiest they've been in a long time. They don't need another person. They only want me. And I've reciprocated those feelings. I've told them the same thing. I've meant it. I've meant it always. And then well, no, they're lying about this, or they don't fucking respect you enough to say this, or you you say one thing and then do another. Like it just boggles my mind as to why somebody who supposedly cares about you would turn around and just cut you that deeply after everything you've done for them. Like, and they've been selfish, more selfish than I think is healthy. Like my first ex, like after a while, like while we were talking from after 2010, she would say she wanted to hang out with me. She'd tell me she'd want to talk about things and deal with us and deal with what we had and try and work to a common goal and try and like bridge that gap. And she would just blow me off day in and day out for weeks, for months, for years. Just wasn't what she wanted. Wasn't what she wanted. Like she didn't care how I felt. She didn't care how hurt I felt. Like canceling plans with my family, canceling plans with like just in general. Like just didn't care. Just did not care. And like the recent ex, like I've done everything I can. I have. I really have. Like I like talk of meeting up. I was the one that stepped up and said I'll go because I wanted to. I wanted to see new places, new people. I wanted to hang out and see people and be with her. Like I wanted an apartment. I wanted to move, like make the relationship move on to the next level instead of just being mostly online. Like I didn't want her to leave and go back to her to Poland. I didn't want that. Did not want that. Like I still don't want her to go. I still don't want her to leave me. I still don't want her to not be with me. I want her to be with me. Like if that's not selfish, I don't know what the fuck is. Like I don't know. I don't feasibly know how that's not being selfish. Like I was surviving on what little happiness I had in 2015 and like the beginning of 2016. She accented that happiness into full blown like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs happiness, where like I'm like fucking Patrick from SpongeBob happy. Like ignorance is bliss. Like I wasn't seen like every time I've fallen for somebody, and like every time is two times. Like when I'm with that person, talking to them, could be on Skype, could be on the phone, could be in person. I'm not thinking about the past. I'm just thinking about me and her. Like I'm thinking about what I want to do with my life. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about like how things are going to work out between us. I'm not looking at the negative shit. I'm not looking at like I'm not second guessing myself. I'm not setting myself up for failure because I don't think it's going to fail. Like and I know that's an insane thing to say about a relationship. Like, what? It's not gonna end. All things come to an end. What if she dies? What if What if like you're at a party and a chick just magically falls, like your pants, like you have a wardrobe malfunction, your cock flops out, and like a chick just trips mouth first onto it, like, and she walks in, like, what happens then? Like, I'm not looking at these like what if scenarios. I never do. Like when I'm in with somebody that I absolutely have 100% unconditional love for somebody, I'm not looking at the failures for it. Like even now, like even with my father, like I don't look there and go, yep, I'm gonna like I can't see, I can't see how people can just live their life seeing like an end date on things. I don't feel like that's living life. That's just living that moment. That's like watching a movie. Like when you watch a movie, you're not watching it because you know it's going to end. You're watching the movie to be invested in that, and then you feel somber when it ends. You want it to continue. Like when you watch like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Terminator, like you're invested in the characters and you're invested in the moment, and you're not looking at like, well, there's another hour and 40 minutes left to the Lord of the Rings. Like I might as well enjoy the last hour and 40 minutes before it's up. Like you can't live life like that. You can't. Like I've gotten into a discussion about this before where like if you were able to go into like any kind of relationship or just see people's clocks, if you were able to see like a digital clock floating over people's heads, only you could, and it told you like the day that they die or the day they break up with you or the day they stop talking to you, like that would have to be the most bleak, unbearable, like just fucking life. Being reminded that it's going to end, you need to do as much shit as you can possible before it ends. Like you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do like live your life the way you want to live it. You can't live in the moment. You have to live for the future. You have to scramble to cherish everything as much as you can. You have to savor everything. Like with the relationship I was just in, like a part of me wishes I could go back and cherish the moments I had. But at the same time, like if I knew how things would end, I'm not going to sit there and like just let things go through their course and cherish it. I'm literally like in like me personally, I would fight tooth and fucking nail to change that. Tooth and nail. I would try everything I damn possibly fucking could to avert those events. I would go above and beyond to not have it happen. To have someone sit there and like to tell you like I love you and I always want to be with you, and you know for a fucking goddamn fact that like they're saying that now, but in like 2 months time they're not going to say that. They're not going to feel that. Like I would just be in a worse, shittier spot than I am now. And like I don't know. I want that happiness back. I want her to be with me. I don't want her to be with other people. Like my first and second ex. Like I want them only. Like I don't want both of them. I want just one of them. Like the passion to having my recent ex is stronger now than my first ex because it's just that wound is fresh. It's still bleeding. Like there's a window of opportunity left. Like I'm always going to see my first ex. I always will. But the second one, I don't know. I just don't know. She makes me happy. She makes me not go to sleep fucking just staring at the ceiling, wondering like, well, I wonder what shit's gonna happen tomorrow. Like both of them do that. Not right now, mind you, because I'm in a fucking shitty position right now. Like she sounds guilty. She needs to be guilty. She said like she regrets it's my ex 2.0. They're saying the same things they both said. Like my first ex has told me that she still loves me. It's just like either shit happens or like just we just can't fucking align the planets correctly when we're actually together to actually be in a relationship. Like they've both said that they feel guilty for what they've done to me, what they've said to me, how they treated me. They both said that they regret ending the relationship. They both wish they could go back and fix it so that it didn't happen so they could still be with me. Like I don't know. I just feel like they both have feelings for me. It's just they're too stubborn. They're too stubborn. Like I got into a call on the 8th this month. I didn't mention anything about it um, for a while because it's kind of a really intimate, personal thing. But I got onto a call and I was talking to her, and she told me that the things she said, the things she did, looking back at it now, she doesn't feel that way. There was a lot of things going on in her life at the time, which is true. There was a lot of shit going on in her life. She was stressed out, and with the way she worded it, she lashed out at me instead of like the problems in her life. And the hopeless romantic in me thinks that she wants to be with me, but she doesn't feel like she deserves me. She hasn't said that because I know that'd be too personal for her, and it'd break that wall that she's kind of built up around herself because she doesn't like she's set in her mind that she needs to feel guilty about it. She can't just move on and restart. That's how I feel. That's how my brain's seeing it. Like I feel like if she got over it, she was able to move on from it and be like, he still wants me for me, not because I'm over how it ended. I am. When I'm not over is if she's absolutely over it. If that makes any sense. Like because like if she like if she were to get onto a call with me right now on Skype and tell me that she's in love with me still, she wants to be with me, but she can't be with me because she feels guilty, and she needs to feel that guilt because she wouldn't be happy because she feels unworthy. Like it hurt. It would. Like I'm not gonna lie about it. It hurt. I feel ecstatic that I was right. that she still has feelings for me, that she still loves me. Like, I'd be happy that I didn't fucking overthink that. But at the same time, I'd be hurt because like my whole being would be like, you don't need to feel guilty. You're not worthy. Like, you can have me. Like, I'm throwing myself at you. Like, I've been pining for 5 months, going on 6. Like, I want to pick up where we left off. I want to I want to enjoy the last amount of time that you and I have together before you go back. Like, I want to be able to like see you again, talk to you, say goodbye, like have an actual goodbye. Like, I want to see how long it can last, because it ended abruptly and I feel prematurely, especially if she still has those feelings for me. That like, ending it on a really shit note isn't fucking ending it, like, in a good way. Like, all I've ever wanted out of a relationship is somebody to be there for me as much as I'm there for them. And if the relationship ends, I want it to end amicably, like mutually. Like, of course, I'm still gonna fucking want to be with that person. Like, I've never gotten to a point where it's like, no, I don't want to be with you. That's it. Like, I can't. I've never lost feelings for a person. Like, the friends I've had, like, years ago that ended badly, like, I still have them as friends. In my heart, they're still friends. Unless they did something horrible, they're still my friends. Like, I hold on to those moments and I hold on to those feelings because that's just who I am. Like, I see it as a bad and a good thing. It's a bad thing because I envy people that are able to just go through life swapping emotions and like falling in and out of love, like, without a care in the world. But at the same time, like, the person who I am wouldn't do that. Like, I'm loyal. I'm dependable. I'm reliable. Like, if somebody needs to talk to me, I'm going to talk to them. Like, if I like, the only time you're not going to be able to get me is if I'm fucking sleeping. That's it. And sometimes, like, I'll probably wake up. I've had friends call me in the middle of the night while I'm, like, sleeping, and I only have like 2 hours of sleep. I'll pick up the phone and talk to them. If I wake up like half an hour after they try calling me and I see that they called me, I'll try and call them again. Like, if they text me and I don't hear it, like, and I wake up and I see that text, I'll immediately respond. Like, if somebody asks me to be there for them, I'm going there, on foot, by bus, or by car. I'll hitchhike if need be. If they need me, I'm gonna be there. Like, it's just who I am. It's just who the fuck I am. And I want them to know that. I want them to know that, like, the person that they're friends with, or the person that they love, is that person always. Like, I don't want them thinking like, oh well, shit sucks. Shit sucks. Everybody dies. Rocks fall. Everyone dies. Like, that's it. Like, that's all I want them to think. It's all I want them to feel. Is to know that, like, they're right in assuming that I'm always going to be there. I'm always going to be there for them. And I'm always going to care about them. Give me a second. Like it's a tumultuous time right now. For me right now it is. Because like we're supposed to talk soon. We're gonna try. I don't know what's gonna happen. I really don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Like she reached out to me by adding me, even though I kind of feel like even now she fucking hates me. Why, I don't know. I don't. I've never tried to hurt her. I've never tried. Like, I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm not the kind of person that feels good about hurting somebody. Like, it just sucks. It just sucks that like I'm the one picking up the pieces. I'm the only one that like I don't want to be the only one picking up the pieces. I don't want to be the only one that felt like it was serious. I don't want to be the only one that remembers that like the other and just be forgotten. I don't want to be this rando that she met online and like dated and then just dropped. I don't want that. And like for a few months I felt like that was the case. That it was just a fling, that she just didn't love me as much as I loved her. But like with the new information I've had with talking to her, with the way she sounds, the tone of her voice, what she's said, how she's acted, I don't feel like that's the case. So I just want that. I want to just smash that fucking wall and just be like, just let's be together again, then. Like, let's stop with this fucking like this lovesick star-crossed lovers fucking cliche. Let's just fucking fix it instead of just letting it fester until we're both regretting not telling the other one or trying. And so I'm trying. Like, I'm bashing my heart against a wall right now. And I'm hoping at some point she will finally just open the door to the wall and be like, there was a door right here, right? Like, it was open the whole time. And like, we're able to fucking just close that door off and move on together. Shit sucks. Love sucks. Feelings suck. Life sucks. Everything sucks sometimes. Like, I don't know. I do not know. Like I said, this is probably the ramblings of an insane man. I might be overthinking things completely, absolutely 100% over, like, just fucking. I'm seeing fucking connections where there shouldn't be connections. I don't want that to happen. I don't. Like I said it earlier, I don't want to be proven wrong. For once, let me be proven right with my overthinking. Ugh. Like, there's been a picture I've seen floating through Tumblr a lot, and I've seen it for years now. And it's got a couple laying in bed, and it says, "You're still thinking about her, but she's sleeping tonight with someone else." And that's how I think sometimes. Like, if anybody here has watched Tales of Mere Existence by Levny Ilnaz, he had a video, very poignant video that stabs me with a fucking knife every time, because it's like that's how I feel. And he met a chick that interested him, and they were doing all right. They're having fun. Uh, they had a lot in common, and they they went on a couple dates together, or they were dating for a couple months at that point. And he was laying in bed with her, and she walked off out of his life. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but what he said essentially was, as I lay here in bed, I have to wonder, why doesn't she love me as much as I love her? And that hurts me far more than anybody could hurt me, because I've questioned myself on that. Like, I've said it multiple times already, like, me questioning, like, why did like, why did my first ex cheat on me? Like, why? I don't know. She doesn't know. Why did my recent ex just fucking drop me like a goddamn lead weight into the fucking ocean? I don't know. She doesn't know. Like, we can rationalize it the best we can, but we don't fully know. Like, she was stressed out with school and moving and family stuff at the time, and I was not really helping by telling her about my fucking financial, like, my financial fears about getting the apartment, and me complaining about work and stuff like that. And like, that might have been a factor to it. She could have been afraid of losing me. She could have just emotionally just jumped the shark. Better to fuck it up than, like, for him to fuck it up. Like, she told me one time that once she trusted me fully and loved me fully, like she would never stop trusting me. And I could cheat on her with 100 women and she'd still want to be with me and she'd believe me that I wasn't cheating on her. And so I feel like she may have reached that point in the relationship and she panicked. She was worried that like I would hurt her somehow and she cut ties. Could have been that. I don't know. Like I said, we don't, like, me and her don't know why. Like, uh, but like it, like it's frustrating. It's fucking frustrating dealing with like this because I haven't had a good relationship, and by a good relationship I mean a relationship that ended nicely. Like I know people think that's a fucking unicorn. Like, oh, like a relationship that ends nice. Of course not. Everybody's hurt in a relationship. Like everybody doesn't like getting dumped. I understand that. I do. I understand that 100 fucking percent. That like shit happens. Like shit happens, and like people are always hurt. Like, but it's not a magical unicorn. Like, I've seen relationships end beautifully. I've seen them end mutually before. And yeah, both people are hurt, but both people still love the other one for who they are and who they were. Like, and like both times I've been in relationships, they've just ended horribly for me. Like I said, I was cheated on the first time after a long time being with them. And then the second time I was just insulted, belittled, and then told that I don't matter. After all the months of being told the opposite. And both are playing out the same fucking way they've played out. Only this time I'm trying my damnedest to, like, I'm just trying my damnedest to have it work out. And like, I'm probably gonna beat myself black and blue. I'm probably gonna beat myself black and blue trying to get this lofty fucking ending. I'm probably gonna go through the mire. I'm probably gonna crawl through barbed wire in no man's land like I did with the first ex. Wearing my fucking heart, like just bearing my heart and feelings and telling them consistently over and over again, like a goddamn broken record. I love you. I want to be with you. And they're gonna just give me a non-answer, or they're going to just avoid the issue or avoid telling me whether or not that they like the honest truth, because I keep getting different conflicting answers, and I get conflicting fucking responses. And I don't want it to happen like it always does, where a couple years go by and they try to reach out to me and go, yeah, I was madly in love with you still, and I could I like everything that you were saying, like how like I was stubborn and I was afraid of losing you and all that was true, and I just couldn't really bring myself to tell you like you were right and I was wrong, and like I did want to be with you. I don't want that to happen because it's happened to me multiple times and I felt like shit because it just does. I'm not sure how to word it. I'm not sure if I can even put it into words. How that makes me feel like shit. Like maybe on the one hand, like I put so much investment into it. Like I beat myself up because I didn't push hard enough. Like I didn't try hard enough, or I didn't work hard enough to break down that walls that she didn't have to tell me years later like that's the case. Like I don't know. I don't like I want things to be, I just want things to go right. I want things to go right for me. Just once. I'm not asking for much, I don't think. Like I could be completely fucking wrong. I could be a complete fucking idiot. I could be a complete fucking loon. I could be asking for the most insane fucking thing possible in my life. Like if there's a living God, he's probably looking down at me going, "You want to be happy? Pff, fuck out of here with that fucking shit. You're not gonna be happy. You're not gonna be happy, man. Get ready for a fucking beatdown. Like you're just you're just fucking like you are just the cutest. You're the most naive idiot I've ever fucking seen created in this world. Like I'm worried about moving forward with my first ex because of the second ex, because I don't have a definitive answer. Like if she loves me and she can't be with me, I'm like I don't know what I don't even know what I would do in that situation. Like I'm trying to go out on a date with my first ex. Like she was available all this week and she got sick. Well, last week now because it's Sunday, but she was available for that time. And like I told her Wednesday or Friday if she was available, and she never fucking locked in Wednesday or Friday. So we're still talking. Like she hasn't responded because she's probably asleep right now. But I don't know. Like if things start working moving faster with the first ex, I don't know what I would do. Like she knows I have feelings for her. She's like I've told her that and reminded her that 10 times over, at least a month, because she doesn't believe me. Like but if like things move forward and she's like, "Yeah, I have feelings for you. I want to be with you." And like my recent ex tells me the same thing. Like, I have feelings for you, but I just can't bring myself to be with you because I feel guilty or unworthy. Like, I don't know who to pick. Do I go with the first or the second? Do I try and work things out with the second so that she doesn't feel like she doesn't deserve me, so that she doesn't feel guilty, and just be with her? Or do I go with the first and try and work things out that way and hurt my second ex because she'll see that I've moved on? Like, that's the most painful thing, is that no matter who I pick, I'm going to hurt one of them, and I'm going to make them think that I'm going to make one of them think that I'm just blowing smoke up their ass, that I'm not in love with them as much as I tell them I am. Like, if I could split myself, if I could clone myself, I would, so that they could be with me. Like, I'd want to be with both of them, but I know I can't be with both of them. I know I can't. It'd be impossible. One of them would get, like, if I just, open relationships don't work for me. Like, I can't see myself in an open relationship. I can't. It hurt them. It hurt them if that happened. Like, I can't choose I can't choose neither. I have to choose one of them. And so, me telling both of them that I love them and would do anything to be with them, and then to just turn around and be with one of them and not the other, is going to make the one that I didn't choose either hate me or think he lied to me. And I don't want that to be the case. I don't. I don't. I have such shitty fucking luck. I'm telling you. I just don't even know. Don't even know. Like, I try my hardest, and I just always, like, going back to that fucking topic, like, even trying my hardest doesn't feel like I am doing my hardest. Like, I always feel like there's something more I could do. There's always something more that I can do. Hell, right now I feel like drinking. Like, I really want to drink so I can feel better. That way I can just be like, hey, I'm gonna play Stellaris. I'm gonna play Stellaris. I'm gonna fucking kill some Xenos, and I'm just gonna deal with that. Or I'm gonna play some Skyrim, deal with that, or watch fucking some fucking some YouTube shit and laugh, or get angry at that because somebody in the YouTube video is a fucking idiot and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Or I'll download a Marvel movie I haven't seen and deal with that and enjoy that, read it, and nitpick the fuck out of it, so that next time I talk to somebody, I can be like, "This fucking pissed me off. This is fucking stupid." And, like, That's it's shitty crux to rest on. It's a shitty crux to rest yourself on. I don't know. Just got to do baby steps. Just keep fighting the good fight. Keep doing what I'm doing, even if it kills me. I mean, they do say the good die young, but I don't think I'm that good. So there's that at least, I guess. Hmm. Hmm. I also like to apologize to anybody listening to this stream for depressing them. That's another problem I have with me is that I apologize for things. I always apologize, even if it's not my fault. I apologize. Like, hmm. I don't know what to talk about now. I honestly don't. Like, me check the chat. I haven't checked the chat forever, and I've just been fucking looking down at my desk, smoking cigarettes and drinking flat Coke. I was looking forward to some new games. There's one that I can't enjoy now because of the main character. Near Automata. Like, I can't enjoy that because 2B looks like somebody. 2B is hot. I don't care if she's a video game character. She's hot. The game looks cool. I don't even know. That's the thing. I don't even know of any other games coming out that I'm interested in. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 looks meh. Like it's not going to meet the hype of what everyone's been expecting for like 8 years or something like that. It's been fucking forever. Final Fantasy VII is still iffy for me because it's episodic and you're going to have to wait for the episodes to come through. Like, there's an Arc the Lad remake coming out. I'm worried about that because it's on a fucking mobile phone. Fucking Kojima's making he's not making Silent Hills, so a game I was looking forward to is never coming out. Fucking his new game Horizon Zero or whatnot, like that looks fucking weird, and I don't think it's going to live up to the hype that it's been generating. Call of Duty, Tom Clancy, and oh god, like Battlefield 1 I looked forward to. That didn't live up to the hype of what I had set for it. I should have set that bar low. Even though it's a World War One game, it's not World War One. Like the Call of Duty game looks like a really shitty Halo knockoff. The Ghost, like I think it's Ghost Recon fucking 14. Like Tom Clancy games have just bored me for years now. Fucking the talk of the new Elder Scrolls game. Like I've talked to a few friends about it. That's like they're setting up high hopes for the game. I'm not. Like Mass Effect Andromeda, I'm not looking forward to. Oh god, it's a fucking space game that's coming out in not too long. Like I forget the name of it, but like I'm not looking forward to that game because I don't think it's going to live up to the hype, and I don't even think I'll be able to afford a computer that'll be able to run it at 60 FPS. Fucking Starbound's getting a new update. I can't even run the new update of Starbound because my GPU on my laptop can't fucking. I honestly think it's the GPU that's causing the issue. So I haven't ever since Christ, May? Might have been May or no, maybe June. June or July was when that new update dropped for Starbound, like 1.0. Like, I haven't played the game. Can't play the game. Um, uh, like, I don't know. Just like there's a lot of games that I've wanted to play, but they don't entice me anymore. I have downloaded the Long Dark update. Um, I'm waiting for the story mode to be added. I have played The Forest. I torrented that 2 years ago. It was whenever Markiplier played it. I saw it and thought, "Hey, this is awesome," but my computer can't handle it. I do know that I have set a goal that I will be when I start working in March, because I keep being told I'll be starting work in March again. I'm going to be saving up money for a gaming laptop and putting the rest of the money away for my apartment and furnishing the apartment, paying the bills, setting up like all that stuff. Like, so I'll be getting a fairly decent gaming laptop, like I was planning on doing last year, and then I'll be able to play Subnautica at fucking ultra high fucking graphics at 60 FPS. I'll be able to play Starbound and not have to worry about fucking lag or any kind of issues like that. I'll be able to play the Long Dark on the highest settings and not have to worry about it with 60 FPS. I'll be able to play Skyrim, like high def Skyrim. I haven't even gotten that yet. So there's that. The Long Dark update's pretty good. They added Timber Mountain. It's Timber Mountain or Bear Mountain. It's the hardest area yet. There's hardly any shelter from the elements. It is incredibly cold. The wind will rip your clothes. You need to do mountaineering stuff, so you need pittons and ropes and stuff like that to scale the mountain to reach the top of it. A lot of dangerous like a lot of wolves and bears around that area. They've changed up the clothing. You can now wear 2 sets of pants, 2 sets of shirts, 2 sets of socks, two jackets, and two. So you can wear 2 pairs of long johns, long john pants and long john shirts, and then you can wear 2 jackets and 2 pairs of outer pants. So you can wear a pair of long john thermal underwear, and then wear a pair of sweatpants, and then wear a pair of jeans over that, and then a pair of snow pants. And the same thing goes for that. And you can, I believe, 2 hats, and either a set of gloves or 2 sets of gloves, and then a pair of boots. They've added skill books, which I feel like that kind of cheapens the game, because everything in the game was more like, I wouldn't say Skyrim-esque or Elder Scrolls-esque. Just, like when you started a fire, the more like every time you succeeded in starting a fire, you'd get a skill. Your skill would go up, and then after a certain point, you'd need to start a set amount of fires to get another skill to level up that skill. So fire making would be a skill. Fishing had a skill. Hunting, curing, gutting, trap making, repair, your repair skill, fire, like shooting, like just marksmanship wasn't a skill. But now, like, you can find a book and it'll just, you have to spend 5 hours reading it, and once you've read it, you level up a few times. You'll get through, like, I think one time I read a skill book and it gave me three skill points to fire making. and they're strewn about everywhere. I was doing a test play of the new one, the new update, and I found just in like 20 minutes like 5 skill books, and I was starving to death, freezing to death, and dehydrated. And like I'm like I can't, I need to burn one of these fucking books to start a fire so I don't die of hypothermia. They've changed the weather system a little bit. They've changed the AI to the animals. They've made the wildlife, like the predators in the wildlife, more aggressive, and they've made the prey more alert, more defensive, more panicky. They've added rifle cleaning kits to the gun to repair the gun. You can't break down weapons and just repair them with the parts from the broken down weapons. They've added a few new crafting items. Still haven't added Zippos, which I've been saying since I started playing the game that a Zippo would probably be the best thing to fucking use instead of matches, because you find lighter fluid everywhere, or accelerant as they call it in the game, but it's a fucking bottle of Ronsinol, which is what I use for my Zippo. They haven't added cigarettes into the game, which I think is, again, another good key survival item you use, because if you have a pack of cigarettes, you can smoke a cigarette and that'll curb your hunger. It's not going to save your life. It's going to delay the onsets of starvation, but it'd be a good thing. They're going to add the will to live or stress, and that would help, like drinking coffee. Like drinking coffee right now increases like boosts or buffs your exhaustion meter so you don't fall asleep and pass out. Like do something with the cigarettes. Make it so that you get really thirsty, because I get thirsty when I smoke a cigarette, but make it so that I don't feel hungry. If you add that stress level, just have that be something that can curb the stress. And then like after a certain amount of cigarette, like if you smoke packs of cigarettes throughout the game, because you can live for months in the game, have it so that your character can't run as long. Like he like it doesn't have to be instantly. Like it's not like, oh, he has tuberculosis, he has lung cancer, he can't breathe that good, he can't run. Like just have it so like he gets out of breath if he smokes a cigarette. um Bring liquor, like booze into the game. Have your character be able to drink that like in the middle of a fucking blizzard to try and warm himself up slightly so he can push forward. Or like have liquor be something that you can use to numb the pain, because people drink like that's a thing people have done. Make Molotovs. um Use it to light fuel, like to light something on fire, because there are some liquors that are insanely flammable. Like all these little things could do something about it. Like just little touches like that would make game great. Game still, like I said, like I think the game is still fucking in alpha or beta at this point, so they're still adding shit. They haven't really removed a whole lot, I don't believe. Um, so you can make clothes out of animals. Currently, rabbits will give you rabbit skin mittens, which are the best. They're the top tier mittens or gloves. Um, Deerskin boots and deerskin pants are the best boots and pants you can get. A wolfskin jacket is the best jacket you can get, and then a bearskin bedroll is the best bedroll you can get. Um, the skill books, from what I've seen, the skill books give you fire making, foraging, fishing, repair, and I think medical. I think that's the only 5 skills that are in the game right now. And I hope to God they don't add more skills that skill books can do, because there's just like the biggest thing I hate is the guy is supposed to be a nobody. He's supposed to be a guy that he's not a wilderness dude. He's not a frontiersman. He's a fucking bush pilot that crashes. He lives in the city and he flies a plane to like the outskirts of Canada and like the fucking ho-dunk little towns that are like 50 miles out of the way and they don't have roads there. Do what players would do in that situation. Like a player's not going to sit there and read a book. They're going to try the things first. Like in a survival situation, you're not going to pull a book out or a manual and read it. You're going to do. So like give players who know frontier skills like a step up from other players. Like when I was playing the game, I knew like during a blizzard, like when it's windy, like you take shelter under a rock against the wind so that the wind goes over you, and then start a fire, and the fire will stay hot and it'll be cushioned by the air pressure. And I did that in the game, and it works. That's a mechanic in the game. Like you get a bonus to resistance to the elements while taking shelter from the wind. I knew right from the get that like certain mushrooms in the game are good medicine. I knew that lichen is a good herbal fucking bandage substitute, because I learned that from reading up on World War One and just from my fucking family, because they have frontiersmen blood in them, and so like I don't know, just shit like that. Like it made me feel like the knowledge I have that I can't really apply on a daily basis actually came into effect somewhere. And like being able to have a player just walk up and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna just read this book. All right, now I can easily start a fire." Like the guy shouldn't know how to start a fire. He should be like, pour some gasoline on it and light the gasoline. Like if you want to actually do what actual frontiersmen do, which is like use a fire striker and do that, and like, oh well, you don't use newspaper, or you don't use a book. Books aren't that flammable. There's a higher chance of it failing. Like tinder is what you use. Like give players that know like actual survival techniques like an edge. Like I only died once in the game, and I lived. God, I don't even know how long I lived. I think I lived for about 4 months in game, 4 or 5 months in game, uh, on the second highest difficulty. I fucking fought tooth and nail to live and survive the best I could, and I got cocky. Like I got cocky because I was like, oh, I'm in a nice 2-story house with like 3 fireplaces. And wood stove in the kitchen. The wood stove's always got fucking cedar wood in it. No, fir wood. Fir wood's the best wood in that game. I got fir wood in that. I have all 3 fireplaces going. I have at least 400 pounds worth of fucking wood stacked up, like by each of them, like a giant fucking fuck all pile of wood. It's just all there. I had 3 or 4 hatchets, all of them sharpened. They were all at 100% condition. Like 2 guns. 2 guns. One was broken, but I was fixing it at the time. I had one that was fully fixed, cleaned. I had like 30, 40 rounds for it. Let's see. Like I had fishing hooks with line. I had so many of those that I was just throwing that, like I wasn't even fucking keeping the ones I found. I had sewing kits up the ass so I could sew and fix and suture all my clothing should it rip. I had 2 sets of deerskin boots, 2 sets of everything, and like I had more medication than a fucking pharmacy, and I had more food than I could eat. Like I was leaving deer meat outside in the cold so it could freeze because I didn't have enough room and storage because it would just go bad. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave it outside, let it freeze, and then when I fucking start running low, go cook it up, and then be on my way. I had like 30, 40 gallons worth of water at any given time. I had all the herbal medicines. I had a workshop downstairs with all my repair shit. Like I had fucking 20 to 30 storm lanterns all strewn about on the house, like on coffee tables, on desks, on nightstands. I had broken down furniture in the rooms for extra resources so I could build stuff like traps so I could trap rabbits. I took the master bedroom as my own. I had all my personal like possessions and shit inside the nightstands and stuff. So I started living in that house. And so I was walking outside. I was walking outside, and I had brought my rifle. I had 10 rounds in the gun, with one in the chamber, and I had just enough water to keep me going, enough food to keep me going for my excursion out, so I could grab some more fucking gear because I was grabbing coal at the time. Because this is when they added the smelters furnace in Desolation Point. Because they had added saplings. You could make arrows. All you needed to do was find crow's feathers, or I think it was crow's feathers. You needed maple. You needed maple wood to cure for like 5 days in a warm room, and then you could make 3 arrow shafts out of that. And then what you need to do is you need to grab scrap metal and bring that to the smelter, start a fire, throw coal into it so it'd get to like 400 degrees, and then you could smelt it and then forge it into arrowheads. And they had added hacksaws to the game so you could hacksaw fucking car doors apart for scrap and like metal shelving and stuff like that. So you could just break down everything metal in the game to get metal. Like, not just like breaking down like old fucking junky things that you didn't need. And so I was like, I'm going to go get some coal because the area I was in was next to 2 coal mines. And I grabbed a fair amount of coal, probably like 30, 40 pounds. And your character can only carry like 60, 70 pounds on his person. So I was over encumbered. I wasn't like, I could run still, but it was like half speed. I was burning through my stamina a lot quicker. And like, I don't know, just a stray thought came into my mind because I saw a bear off in the distance. And I was like, I have yet to make a bearskin bedroll. Like, I have a bedroll, I have 5. Like, they're all 100% conditioned, but they're not going to give me as much warmth as a bearskin one would. Like, they're just not. Plus, like, I've never killed a bear. I haven't encountered a bear yet. Like, I've seen them off in the distance, way off in the distance, but I've never gone close to one of them. A lot of fucking bear meat. Like, I wouldn't be able to run back to the house. Like, it's still like 6, like, it was probably like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It'd probably take me 4 hours to skin it. And it was a crack shot with my rifle. So I was like, okay. So I snuck down. I crouched, snuck up to a sizable distance so I could get a clear shot of its head. And I fired 1 fucking round into that goddamn bear's head, like dead on, fucking head, hit it. And that motherfucker did not drop. Like, at first I thought it dropped because it recoiled in pain. So I was like, awesome, I got the bear. So I got up, I didn't reload. And as I'm walking, that bear got right back up and charged me. And they are as fast as bears are in real life if you shoot at them. And it charged me, mauled me, and left me for dead. I had 100% health, and I was then down to 3% after it was done mauling me and wandering off. I was bleeding out. I need to bandage myself up immediately. I was infected with I forgot what disease it was, but it wasn't rabies or anything like that. I think it was just a common parasite bears have. And My gun was broken because my gun was in front of me when I was shielding myself, and my clothes were completely ripped. So I was completely exposed to the temperature. And I had stupidly forgotten to bring first aid with me because I had spent in real game time, like in real time, probably 3 hours doing this excursion. So 3 hours had passed since I had left my shelter, and I had totally forgotten that I didn't have medication on me. And so I bled out. There was nothing I could do. I grabbed lichen. I limped over to one of the trees I was near. I grabbed lichen. I started fucking trying to craft a fucking bandage out of it. I bandaged myself up, and it's like, okay, like you stop the bleeding, but you're slowly freezing to death now because fucking like the sun's going down. And I just died. I died from exposure, and the bandage broke, and I died from loss of blood. 5 months, I think around 4 to 5 months in game, I had survived. All the time, like, and I had spent fucking maybe 2 months playing the game, getting to that point. Hours. I was playing that game 10 hours a day sometimes. I was fucking. I had come close to the brink of death multiple times. I had hacked at wolves with an axe. I had fucking taken fucking signal flares and just shoved them in their faces. I've thrown flares at them. I've flailed a flare around to scare them off and try to keep them away. I've wasted rounds giving off warning shots to scare off wildlife. I hunted wolves nonstop. I hunted deer. I was fishing nonstop. I had canned food, dog food. I had fucking boxes of untold boxes of tea, cans of coffee, all these supplies that would make a fucking grown man fucking just weep with joy that he had like this safety net. And it was all gone in a matter of fucking seconds because I was just like, I'm gonna shoot this bear. And I totally was like, bears are pretty dangerous. I should watch out. I should watch out. I really should. And I didn't watch out. So I stopped playing the game after that. I picked it up maybe once or twice just to check out the new like locations, but that was it. I haven't really played the game a lot. I've considered doing a let's play of it. Like I do know because there's a Wikipedia on The Long Dark. A wolf will take 2 shots to kill. I know that much. Usually a deer will drop in 1 shot if you hit it in the chest. Like if you hit it in the heart region or in the head, it's going to be dead. But with a wolf, you need to hit it near the eye and it'll die. With a bear, though, I think it's like 3-4 shots from a rifle, and you need to be quick and you need to be precise with your shots because if you fuck up once, you're dead. You are just dead. I do know that they keep talking about having raiders in the game. I'm a little apprehensive about that because of the sheer scope of what they want. Like because like what they want to do with the raiders is they want raiders to actually take supplies from the map. But the problem is because a lot of the playthroughs I've seen, a lot of players don't actually explore. Like when in my first playthrough of fucking The Long Dark, I started off in Mystery Lake, which is baby's first map, essentially. It's fairly easy. There's not a lot of wildlife. There's only one bear in the map, and that's it. There's a couple wolves here and there, but they're manageable. And then you go from there to the. Also, there's two guns in that map. There's always a chance. And then from Mystery Lake, it goes to the Highway Coast. The Highway Coast. The Highway Coast is a little bit more difficult. There's a lot of rabbits though. And then the Highway Coast branches off into God, I think it's Homestead. I think that's the name of it. It's all farmland. It is just most of it is just barren farmland, and you have to go through a cave system to get to that point. And once you get to the cave system and get to the homesteads or the farms, the farmland, that one then goes to another cave point, which will go to Desolation Point, which is a whaling city, and you need to go through a coal mine there. But you can also go from the highway coast to there by oh fuck me. It's a weird like each map is connected by a small mini map. So when you're going from Mystery Lake to the highway coastline, you have to walk on a goddamn rickety old wooden train bridge. And when I first played, I traveled through it by night with a match. I only had matches on me at the time. And from there, you go to Highway Coast. Highway Coast goes to two areas, two mini maps. One's a cave mine, one's a cave system. The other one's like an abandoned highway that's been toppled over with trees and stuff. So you have to weave through that. And then they've also added a way to get to the homestead from Mystery Lake, which is going through the dam. And once you go through the dam, you have to go through the frozen river, which there's a lot of fucking thin ice. And then from the homestead, you can go from to Desolation Mystery Lake, the Highway Coast, Desolation Point, and I believe it's the only way to get to Timber Mountain. So like each of the maps are connected pretty good. There is a little loading screen, sadly, but like I don't really care about loading screens all that much. But the further you go, the harder it gets. And so I was at the Homestead area, which was at the point the hardest area besides Desolation Point. And most players just don't travel. Like after a while, I had to move. I had to move from Mystery Lake. Mystery Lake is my favorite map because of the Trapper's Lodge. That usually starts off with a rifle. There's a safe. There's a bunch of storage containers. It's small, so it keeps the place warm, and it's just cozy. But then I got to the middle farmstead, which is a two-story ranch house. And like, if they implement the bandit mechanics they want to, the resources I found in all the other maps aren't going to be there. They're going to be even sparser. Also, the fact that you may encounter and fight them is going to make the game even harder. Like the game's pretty difficult on the higher difficulties, just with wolves and bears, and the weather. Like having people with guns and hatchets and knives coming at you is going to make it even harder. Like they haven't even added the electromagnetic storms. That's another thing they haven't added, where like power will go on. You can open hoods now for the cars, and you can see the battery doesn't look like the rest of the car model. So they're doing something with the fact that like batteries will be able to work, but I don't know. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put some water on. Okay. So, back with some tea. And I'm probably going to end the stream now because I'm probably just going to drink this tea and then pass out. So, I will talk to all of you at a later date. Sorry for rambling like a fucking idiot. So, yeah. Thank you all for coming, for the people who did come. Baby steps.